So I am with a lovely couple right now. Tasandra and what is your name?
James.
James. Where are you guys from? What do you guys do? Tell me about yourselves.
We are from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And we are actually both teachers. My wife, Tasandra, just finished year number 6.
Okay.
And I am the rookie. I just finished my first year of teaching.
I should note that Tasandra did not want to be mic'd up, so we had a really nice couple before them. It was the 4 of them, and they talked the whole time. It was wonderful, because I hate quiet Uber rides. And they never inquired about my tell me a love story. But when the first couple left, then they finally asked. So, James, what is your love story? The love of your life is sitting next to you.
Yes,
tell me your story.
Yes. So, I spent most of my life in Georgia. I moved around a lot because my dad was in air traffic control. Okay. Shortly after high school, I moved back to Georgia, and I lived in a small town in South Georgia called Valdosta. There's a college there, Valdosta State University, and I enrolled in the school. I had been out of school for about a year and a half, and I decided to enroll in the school, and at the time, I had no idea what I was going to study. So they specifically had cohorts of students where teachers could advise them if they hadn't declared majors. And it was the first day of the fall semester 2005 that Tasandra and I ended up in the same cohort. So we just started out as awesome friends. We were really good buddies, even so much to the point where later on down the line, we were pairing each other up with friends of ours.
Oh, wow.
There was no romantic interest at all. We were just really good friends. But we were those kind of friends that would always look out for each other. You know, it was like if you see somebody, like one of your friends wants to try to date her or whatever, I'm like, okay, you better not you better not break her heart. You know, you better. But neither one of us really saw anything more of it at that point. So we lost touch here and there, but it was every time we'd see each other, it would always be like we had never separated. We had just seen each other the day before. Okay. So fast forward to 2014.
I want to know how you guys fell in love. Where did it change?
It's funny. I'll get to that. I have an opinion on that. But so fast forward to 2014. Like I said, it's almost 9 years later, and I'm still living in Valdosta. I'm in school in Valdosta still. At this point, I was actually between degrees, between a bachelor's and master's, but Tasandra was working on her doctorate at the time. So she would have to come back to Valdosta from Atlanta once a month to go to class. And out of the blue, I just reached out to her on Facebook. I saw this picture that she had posted on Facebook one morning because her mother was actually about to have surgery.
Oh, wow.
And she just posted a picture saying, you know, I'm going to be strong for my mom and this and that. And the picture just popped up out of nowhere when I logged on to Facebook that day. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to say something because we hadn't spoken in a while. So I just reached out and I was like, I know this might be weird, but you just look amazing right now. So I just took a shot, and it just turned into conversation from there. And she was like, well, I'll be in Valdosta at the end of this month. So we got together, we hung out, and it really just blossomed.
For the first time, was it romantic? Were there butterflies in a way that hadn't been before?
I feel like I could say yes and no. I think there was a little bit there, but neither one of us were really on the point where we thought it should be something to pursue, because we were just really good friends, and I think we were both kind of afraid of what might happen to the friendship if something went wrong. Okay. So neither one of us really tried to push the issue at the time, and I had also just gotten out of a relationship. And I had been in that relationship for a while. So I think both of us were really kind of skeptical about trying to take it further. But it was just one thing led to another. And I mean, Tasandra is very much a traveler. So if she's not coming to see me in Valdosta, you know, she's not there for school, then eventually I would start going up there to see her. And it was one of those, I feel like the falling in love really just happened. I know that might not help much for your story.
Oh no,
but
there's no wrong story ever.
I don't think it was ever really one of those things where either one of us realized it was happening. Okay. Like once we just really looked back on it, we honestly, like, we both thought, we were like, maybe this was something we both felt all along. And now it's just like, okay, we're doing this. Like, but it turned out perfectly. I mean, July 1st will be our 2-year anniversary of being married. Thank you. And I mean, everything's just really worked out for the best. But it all started back in 2005, and we were like the best of friends with no romantic interest whatsoever.
Would you agree, Tasandra? Did you have no romantic interest at all?
Absolutely.
Wow.
No romantic interest. We
Wow.
just were strictly friends, and that was it. And it kind of just blossomed from there. So.
Okay, James, can
Yes.
you pinpoint the exact moment that you knew it was love? I mean, at what point did you think Tassandra's the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with? When did it happen?
I think, no, I do think I can.
Okay, I'm excited.
It was actually that first time that we hung out again. I didn't really, it was something that was really random. Like I said, we just hung out for the weekend and caught up, ate a lot of pizza. I love pizza. So, you know, I'm bringing pizza over, we're eating, we're just chatting, catching up on old times. And it didn't really hit me just how important of a weekend it was until we said bye and she left. Because I'm just a very sappy person anyway. And I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, she left, and after she pulled out of the parking lot, I'm sitting there and I started crying. It was really weird. I was even thinking to myself, I'm like, why the heck am I doing this? Like, what is really going on? I'm like, it's Tasandra. It's the same person you've known for years. Why are you getting emotional? What's really going on? And that was when I first realized, I was like, maybe this is more than a friend. Like, I don't think there's ever been a friend where we had to separate and it hit me like that. So that was probably when, I don't know if it really got to like, I know this is who I'm going to marry at that point. But at that point, I was definitely like, there's something here. There's something here where we're more than friends.
What are your goals for the future? Do you guys want kids?
Oh, absolutely. Our children pretty much exist already. We've had so many conversations about what they're going to be like, what they're going to look like, the subjects that'll be their favorites, their sports, everything. We feel like they exist already.
Okay. What advice would you give if somebody's listening right now who maybe has a friend, you know, that they're afraid to take it, you know, to that, you know, in fear of ruining the relationship or the friendship they have? What advice would you give?
Looking back on it now, I think that I would say that if it's a friendship that's that strong, I think it'll probably withstand anything.
Okay.
So looking back on us, I feel like Tasandra is the stronger one here than I am, because I've always said that I feel like if anything was to ever happen with us, I don't know if we could still be friends, just because I don't know if that emotional part of me would ever go away. So it would just be really awkward. But even with that, I just feel like if anybody's really feeling that way, life is too short to second guess it. So if you really think that that's somebody that's worth it and you want to take that chance, I would say don't hesitate to do it. Because you never know. I mean, that person may feel exactly like you do, and they may be just as fearful as you. They might be waiting for you to make that move because they don't know how.
That's some great advice. Thank you guys so much for sharing with me. This is wonderful.
No, thank you. I love journalism. I'm glad we got in this car.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did as well. So glad you did as well. As somebody who's an artist, you know, somebody who wants to create, I have to.
Yes.
I have to keep creating, and this is the only means I have right now. You know, I've thought about setting up in a park like I have in the past, but here in LA, so many times you have to get a permit to film in any public park. I had one person last week who really wanted to share her story, but she thought when I said journalist, I was going to type it out.
Send it to the paper.
No. So yeah, I've gotten some really great interviews, and
that's awesome. I love this idea. It's a really good idea.
I've really enjoyed it. I really have. Tasandra, do you know when you fell in love with him? I know you're not mic'd up, but do you remember? He felt it early on.
No.
Do you remember when you felt it?
Honestly, no. I guess I would say probably that same weekend that he was referring to. James is definitely way more of a sap.
Yeah.
than I am.
Not afraid to admit it.
So, I can't pinpoint an actual time, but the difference between him and other guys that I've dated in the past or been with is just his personality, his drive, and just the way that he treated me as a person was just different. And so because of that, I think the love just kind of filtered in over time for me. So he's unlike anybody I've ever been with, and I'm happy about that. Very happy about that. So yeah.
I try.
Thank you.
So what are your kids' names? Do you...
They are definitely already there. I will say, I'm not sure how it happened with the initials. I don't remember how that came about. But growing up, I always hated my middle name. I've gotten used to it now. My middle name is Adley. Adley. It's like, kind of like, yeah, and that's what everybody tells me, but I just always thought, I'm like, it's so weird. I can't stand it. But
try having the name Lupe.
But, no, so Adley, it was actually her decision before I jumped fully on board. But that is our son's name already. His name is Adley. And then we both agreed that there's just something special about girls with 3-letter names. So our daughter's name is Ava.
Ava
Yeah.
and Adley.
Yes.
I like it.
And then
Ava and Adley. Yep.
and we're also convinced that they're going to be twins.
Yes.
We're convinced they're going to be twins. We're like, if they're going to have the same initials, then it's only right.
Well, good luck having your twins.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want 3 kids. I came from a family of 3. I'm the oldest of 3.
Okay. Yeah, we've said 3 is our limit. That is.
I have such a good relationship with both of my siblings.
How are you guys in order? Are you the oldest,
I'm
youngest?
the oldest,
You're the
and
oldest.
then we're all 3 years apart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they wanted us 3 years apart, and they made it happen.
They wanted.
Yeah, so it's me, my younger sister Letty, and my younger brother Christopher.
Okay.
And we're
I'm like almost
extremely
sad that
close.
we're here now.
Yeah, tell me where to turn. Is it?
You can turn in right here. Let's
Right
slow
here?
down. Yeah. And then look on the left. You see where the big cacti are?
Right
Like if you make the U-turn, the big, we'll be right there.
You guys, thank y'all so much for sharing with me.
Thank
Can
you
I
for
get-
the idea.
Can I
love
get a
it.
picture with you guys? For
Absolutely.
the
Yeah. I feel like I need to get one now too.
I know, right?
Talk about our favorite Uber driver.
Good. You can tag me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
We will.
Here you go. Let me stop recording. Thank you guys so much for being on Tell Me a Story.
Hey, no problem.